Today we're talking about potties, and so many of you have asked me over on my Instagram channel, which potty should I buy if my baby is this age or that age, and if I only want to buy one potty, which one should I buy? This video is all about the different potties that we have, why we use them, where we use them, and how you can use this information to decide which ones you want to invest in. Hi, my name is Heather. I am an architect entrepreneur and mother of two. I have two toddlers, a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old, and I have potty trained both of my children, my son, my oldest, traditionally, and my daughter naturally. So we started potty training her using Elimination communication when she was 5 weeks old, and she is currently 15 months old and pretty much out of daytime diapers entirely. So I am here to share all about these potties, and if you are not yet following me over on Instagram, make sure you go follow me at readyfrombirth.ec. I talk about elimination communication and natural infant potty training daily and how you can do it too for your baby. All right, so these are all the different potties that we have, and I just want to show you the differences between each one and why you would want to use one versus the other. So this is the Baby Bjorn potty chair. It is obviously the biggest, so the seat height on this one is 6 inches off the floor. This is the Baby Bjorn Smart Potty, and it has a 4 3/4 inch rise off the floor. And then the smallest one is this one, which is the mini potty or the baby potty from the Tiny Undies store, and it has a 3.5 inch rise off of the floor. So these are all different sizes, and these are just removable inserts, and they actually are interchangeable between these two potties from Baby Bjorn. And so they're really easy to empty because you can just pick it up like this and go dump the contents into your toilet, wash it out with hot water and dish soap is what we do, and then we will spray it down with a vinegar spray or a disinfectant spray and wipe it out and then put it back. So super easy to clean. That's really important. You want to make sure that whatever you buy is easily cleanable, lightweight, easy to move around. So this one is the baby potty. I'll start with this one, and it is all one piece. It has a handle here on the back. So this one is just like, there is no insert. You just dump the whole thing and then put it back. This one is really good for smaller babies who are obviously much smaller than a toddler, and they are able to sit on it and have their feet touch the floor. And so that is important for ergonomics so that they can feel comfortable and be in the right position to be able to comfortably do their business and have their legs at the right angle. Let's see. So I also want to talk about this one, which is this is called a top hat potty, and I talk about this all the time. This is really great for newborns. I have another video all about beginning natural potty training with a newborn. That video, it will be linked at the end, but this is perfect for breastfeeding while pottying your baby. And so you just put it in your lap, you just sit it down in your lap, and then you drape your baby in it with a naked bum, and you just kind of like nestle their bum down in there, and then they can pee and poop when they're ready while you're breastfeeding them. And if you don't know about why you would want to do that, go check out that other video all about starting with a newborn, because that will explain in much greater detail than I'm going to go into today. So if you're starting with a newborn, so anywhere from 0 to 3 months, I would say, I would highly, highly recommend you get one of these. And I do want to say, none of these potties are more than $30, 30 US dollars at the time of recording. I think they're all between 15 and 30. So they're really not a huge investment at all, which is why we have so many of them, because if we can make it easy for ourselves to be able to get to a potty regularly, easily, quickly when we need it, it's going to make our life easier and help us be more successful with getting our daughter to the potty when she needs to go. So as your baby gets bigger, this one is going to become less practical because they are going to outgrow it physically, size-wise. And so as they get older, I would just like drape a towel or a cloth, an absorptive cloth of any kind, over the opposite leg in the direction of the pee so that it can catch anything that comes out. I think we stopped using this about 4 months with our daughter. So if your baby is younger than that, like 3 months, you may want to consider skipping that and just going to one of these larger potties. But if they're a very young baby or you're nesting and you're preparing for birth, I would highly recommend getting one of these. And so this one you can use for breastfeeding. You can also just use it in your lap whenever you need to potty your baby. So you would just like hold the baby. I don't have a baby with me right now. I need to get one of those, but you would just hold the baby like this so that their legs are hanging over and then their bum is nestled down in here, and you could have them facing away from you or facing towards you, however you want to do that. Or you can hold them in a cradle hold. So highly recommend this one for 0 to 3 months. This one is also really great for a baby that is starting to sit up and they are starting to be able to definitely hold their head up and working on being able to sit unassisted. Well, not unassisted, you should definitely hold on to your baby, but like they're working on the sitting skill. So this one is shorter. We have this one upstairs in our bathroom. We live in a 3-story house, so we actually have a potty on every floor. And this one is currently in our bathroom. So our daughter uses this one like in the middle of the night or first thing in the morning whenever she wakes up from naps. And then we have this one in our son's room because he is 3, and so he is still working on getting out of diapers at night and being able to take himself to the potty. So he will often just get out of bed and take himself to this one without leaving his room in the middle of the night, which is great for safety reasons because, again, we live in a 3-story house, we have a lot of stairs, and it wouldn't be really safe for him to be wandering the house at night. So this is in his room. We have this one downstairs in our main living area, so both kids use this one all the time, and it is super versatile. And we actually started using this one with our daughter this was the first potty we used when we first offered her the potty at 5 weeks old. So you can still use this one with a very small baby. They obviously are going to need more support and more holding because their feet are not going to touch the ground. They're still kind of like perched on there, so you do obviously have to hold them, but she was able to sit on this one completely unassisted by 5 months old. So she was sitting on her own at 5 months, which was actually earlier than our son. He didn't start till 6 months, but she was really comfortable in this one, and now she really loves it because it has the wings on it around the chair, and so this is really great for building towards full toilet independence because your baby is going to be able to hold on to this to sort of like lift themselves up and sit down. So this gives them more support to be able to climb on it unassisted, which is really great for developing the toilet independence, which is what we're ultimately working towards. So for some context, most babies who begin EC in the first 12 months of life, especially those who begin as a newborn, are able to be fully toilet independent around the time that they're walking. And obviously that can happen at an array of ages, but most babies who use EC with their caregivers are out of diapers and toilet independent between 12 and 18 months. So we are building towards toilet independence, and this one is really great for that because it allows them more support to get themselves on and off the potty. So I really love this one. I think if you were only going to buy one and you were past the newborn stage, so past 0 to 3 months, this is the one I would get. I think it's fantastic for babies of all ages. This one we bought for our son's room to have an extra potty, and we also bought this one to keep at my mom's house because we will fly down to South Carolina to visit my mom fairly regularly, and it's really nice to not have to bring all of our stuff and to have some of our stuff there. So if you have a grandparent's house or a family member that you are visiting often, it is a good idea to just leave a potty there if they're there a lot, because it's going to make everything easier for that caregiver, especially if, let's say, your parents are watching your child frequently. Having a potty that they can use easily, that is comfortable for the baby, comfortable for them, is just going to make things a lot easier, and it's going to set them up for success, which is going to set your baby up for success. So it's not a bad idea to just have an extra potty. We had bought this one for those 2 situations because it's a little bit cheaper than this one, and it's also just smaller, so it's easier to fit in a room or a space. that's really the only good thing I can say about this one is it's smaller and cheaper than this one. But I don't love it because, again, it doesn't have the extra support. It is a little bit lower, so it's actually harder for both of my children now to lower themselves back onto it and sit down. And I just don't think it's as comfortable for them as this one. So I think if I had it to do over again, I would probably have just bought this one for both of those situations. But again, this one just has a smaller footprint. So if you have a smaller space or you are buying it for a grandparent's house where it's going to be imposing on their space, then this one may be a good choice. So let's talk about the other potties I have. So this one is from Jewel. Both of these are from Jewel. So this is the Jewel toilet seat reducer, and it just like sits right down into the toilet. There's a lot of different companies that make these, and I don't think you can really go wrong. You just want to look for something that is going to be comfortable and ergonomic for your baby to sit on. This one has the splash guard in the front, which is really key for both little boys and little girls, and it's just really helpful to keep pee from like spraying out into the room. So look for something that has that for your main household toilet seat. You could, in theory, just go with a toilet seat and not have a potty, but Ada is 15 months old and she is not quite walking, and so she's obviously the biggest she's been in this entire EC journey we've had, and she can sit on this, and she has started sitting on this one. I think it was maybe around 8 or 9 months she started to be able to sit on it, but her little legs like basically stick straight out when she sits on it. So because of how big it is and the way that it sits on the toilet, she's not in that ergonomic position with her legs bent and her knees kind of like higher than her hip joints. So I don't think this one is the best for regular, everyday, all the time use. It's great to have to introduce the toilet and using the toilet, but I don't love it. It's not my favorite. My son, who's 3, this one he uses a lot. So this one I think is really great for an older toddler who is more like in the traditional potty training track, who is just much bigger. He can sit on this comfortably and his knees fold over the way that they should. And we have a little stool that allows him to climb up onto the toilet himself and get onto this one. My daughter cannot climb onto the toilet herself and get onto this one because it's too high. The step from the stool to the toilet is just too much of a reach. So again, I really like this one. I think this one is great for building that toilet independence, building the ability for her to take herself. She regularly does take herself, and all of these she can climb on her own, but this one just gives her that little bit of extra something to hold on to get up. And if you set the potty like next to a wall, so facing the wall versus facing away from the wall, then as your baby is able to stand up and cruise along a surface, they can actually stand up on the wall, cruise along the wall, and then sit back down onto the potty. So your baby does not actually have to be walking to be able to get on one of these. Once they're able to stand up, they can mount a potty very easily. So choosing one that sits low on the floor that matches their height and their kind of like ankle to knee size is going to be really critical to your baby feeling comfortable enough to go and take themselves on their own. So this one is the last one I want to talk about, and this one is also by Jewel. So this is their travel potty seat, and what I love about this is it's got a super low profile, so it is really, really thin, and it also folds up. So it folds up this small, and we have a little like a little carrying case that was just a wet bag that we had gotten from somewhere, and so this one easily slides into a wet bag, and I think it comes with a case too, but I've lost it. And so we just throw it in the diaper bag. This goes with us everywhere. We do not take it out of the diaper bag. And so I use this one a lot at restaurants and anytime we're out and about, airplane bathrooms, airport bathrooms, anytime we're traveling and we just have the diaper bag and we don't have all of our other stuff. And I know that my daughter needs to poop. This one is awesome because I do hold my daughter in the classic EC hold a lot, where you have your hands under their thighs, their back against your chest, and you just kind of like hold them a little bit, but that one can be a little bit uncomfortable for your baby and for you, especially if you're squatting down, because you are in a deep squat, like you're holding a deep squat, you are holding your baby in a squat, and it's just harder for them to relax. And one of the essential ingredients for them being able to release and let go and do the business that they need to do is feeling comfortable so that they can relax their pelvic floor and let whatever needs to come out, come out. So I think it's really important that you either practice the EC hold all the time so your baby is comfortable with it and does it a lot, or if they're resistant to that and you're finding that they're not letting go even when you know that they need to, you might want to try to introduce something like this where they can actually like sit down and get comfortable. And so we use this one a lot with our daughter. As she's gotten older, she has become more resistant to being held in this kind of a hold. And so I found that we have better results if we offer the potty seat. So if I can and I have it with me and I'm not in a pinch, then I will get this out. I find that we just have better results. So I have all of these for all of those different reasons, and they all serve a purpose and they all have a place in our home, in our life, and we use them all daily. So, well, except for this one, but when our daughter was little, 0 to 4 months, this was essential. So I literally would use this at every feed. There were times where I would be feeding her downstairs in the dining room, and this was on the 3rd floor near her bed where we would use it the most often. And I would start breastfeeding her, and it was like, oh, I wish I had the potty because it's on the 3rd floor, and I would have to run all the way up there and get it. I didn't have it, and wouldn't you know, like 2 minutes into the feed, she would poop. So you might even want to have this one in multiple places in your house. It is very inexpensive. It is extremely useful. And if you are breastfeeding your baby is probably going to pee or poop either during or immediately after the feed, often during, I would say, if not multiple times. So having this so that they can do their business while you're feeding them and you don't have to unlatch, stop what you're doing, and take them to a potty, which interrupts your flow of milk, it interrupts what they were doing. They may be mad because they're hungry and they're trying to eat. I just found that trying to stop and start and do it that way was making things harder than it needed to be. So if you're breastfeeding, highly recommend start with a top hat potty. And then, so if you're pregnant and you are about to have your baby and you're planning, what do I need to buy? I would definitely get this one. And I would also either get this one if you only want to buy one for like the lifetime of your baby's EC journey, or you could get this one. Oh, I haven't mentioned yet, this one we travel with a lot. So this one is the smallest, and we bring this with us on road trips. So anytime that we are going on a long car drive, or we're going camping, or we're driving down to a relative's house, we will bring this one with us in the car because it's small enough to fit in a standard plastic grocery bag, and it tucks in the car really easily. And so we will actually potty both of our kids, even our 3-year-old toddler, who's obviously way bigger than this now. We will just potty them in the front seat of the car. You just set it in the driver's seat, set the baby on it. They're entertained because they've got all of the car in front of them to drive, and you can get the job done really easily. So this one is great for travel if you want to bring a potty with you and you have the space in your luggage to do that. This one is great. You could probably even fold this up in a checked bag, or you don't even fold it up. You could probably fit this in a checked bag if you were flying. So having a really small potty does have its benefits. You're obviously not going to bring this one on a road trip. So I think you should think about your life and what you typically do. Do you travel a lot? Is there a grandparent involved that you visit often? How is your house set up? Think about that. And that's how I would determine which one to buy. So if you were only going to buy one when you have a newborn, then I would start with this one. And then as they grow and they're ready for another potty, then I would either get this one or this one, depending on your lifestyle and how you want to use it. if you have a larger house or you have multiple floors in your house, I really recommend that you get multiple potties so that you have one at the bare minimum on each floor or in each bathroom. And in our house, we do not have a bathroom on the first floor, which is so annoying. I really, really wish that we did, but we use this one as our bathroom on the first floor for the kids. And then we obviously have to take it all the way upstairs to empty it, but it's all right. And it's better than having to bring our babies upstairs to use the bathroom every time we need to go. So again, we use all of these for all of these different reasons, and they're great. I will say one more thing about this. This video is getting long, but this one, while I love it and I bring it with me everywhere, this is my second one of these that I have had, because there are these little suction cups on the back. I don't know if you can see that, but there are supposed to be 8 of them. There is only one left. And the problem is the suction cups fall off and they tear and then they break off, and there's no way to replace them. So with the first one I had, all of the suction cups came off, and I emailed Jewel customer service and I said, hey, all of my suction cups fell off, can I have another one? And so they sent me another one. Well, the same exact thing has happened to this one. And now it is on its last suction cup and it slides around a lot. And my daughter actually fell in the toilet one time because it was very scary. She's okay. She was not harmed in any way, but it was just very surprising and frightening for her and for me. And obviously we don't want that to happen. That is not the goal here. So this one slides around without the suction cups and they do fall off and break. So I haven't found another one like this that is as small as this one is. And if I do, I will start recommending it. But for now, this is the one we have, and I just want you to know it has that limitation. It will break eventually. It kind of has a lifespan and you may need to replace it. Okay, that was a very long video, but I hope you got a lot of information from this conversation and you feel more empowered to choose which potty you want. And all of these potties and products are linked in my free guide to natural infant potty training, which you can download at the link in the comments below. And yeah, you should have everything you need. So if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.